That's a part that we need. What's your motivation?
Yeah, what's your why? Why do you want to do what you're doing?
Right.
I've been trying to develop something that, not that you want, that is not about you.
All right. So we're here. Shalimar Jackson, Leon Aloya. I'm Leon Shalimar.
Man, I feel like he's already trying to interview me or something.
Hey,
we ain't
am
sitting here having a conversation.
I'm gonna have a couple questions for you.
Okay, make it an argument.
So first of all, who are you?
Hey, I mean, I'm Shalimar Jackson. I mean, what type of question is that?
Okay,
you
so
know
who's Shalimar? Shalimar from where?
Okay, let's get into it. I'm Shalimar. I'm from San Diego. Born and raised, hung out in a few different states, playing a little football, and then had opportunity to move back home, raise a family, transitioned through a few careers that landed me in the process of developing a program called More Than an Athlete, Whayle Mentality. So that brings us here today. Welcome and appreciate you guys joining us.
Right, so that's what I'm gonna ask you a little bit about, and I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background about me. So very similar. Grew up in San Diego, ex-football player,
Like neighbors, you know what I'm saying?
like really like neighbors. Go to New Mexico State where Shalimar was already there. One of the teammates, and I would say that we always had some level of, there's more than football. I went on my career on the engineering side, worked for ExxonMobil for almost 20 years, left and started Cantor Technical, where we do a lot of data-driven strategy development, problem solving, getting people excellent. And one of the things that we were working on the personal side was this more than an athlete, Whayle mentality product that Shalimar just mentioned. And Shalimar, explain what is more than an athlete?
It's exactly what it says. Being more than an athlete is really taking a deep dive and channeling that intrinsic motivation to who are you, what drives you, what actually drives that athletic motivation that you have. Mm-hmm. Who is to complete you? What do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah. You know, when life continues, how do you evolve into the ultimate you, right? How do you really look into yourself and others, and some of those role models you had, mm-hmm. some of those dreams you had when you were little? I know when I was younger, everyone saw the fireman or the trash man. Like for me, honestly, seeing the guys hang on the back of the trash truck, jump off, grabbing those metal trash cans, dumping them, I was like, man, you mean you get to hang on the back of a truck all day? Like, I want to do that. I know it sounds weird, but it just seems so back in the day, so manly, so cool. You jumping off the back of a moving truck, and now if you ask me, you want to be a garbage man? Nah, I'm cool. Those aren't my dreams and aspirations, but honestly, when you have dreams, you're able to see that you're more than just one thing. Right. And so usually when you're an athlete, especially a high-level athlete, you're not dreaming outside of athletics.
Right.
Your dreams become very narrow.
Because that's what you are.
You're
just an athlete.
And that's what everyone told you you are. And you spent so many hours in that genre that I think you lose yourself in that ability to believe that you're anything else.
Right.
So in the process of developing more than an athlete, it gives the person an opportunity to think of something outside of athletics when they're planning on transition, mm-hmm. or when they're not planning and it happened whether they like it or not.
Right.
And so that's a lot of us or a lot of people. So that's kind of the nutshell of what More Than an Athlete, how it came about.
Well, so how did it come about? I mean, you definitely told me a lot about the I would say what it is. And now you're just touching on why it matters, because if you're only recognized as one item and you happen to be something else, or something else happens to you by choice or by chance, and you don't recognize that you are more than just that one item.
You won't recognize it.
You won't recognize it? Okay.
You won't recognize it usually because it's like when you spend so much time in one area, mm-hmm. right? You won't recognize anything outside of it.
Spots.
It's like buying a new car. Right? When you buy a new car, you see the same car on the freeway or everywhere you go.
Right.
You haven't seen that car, in your lifetime. As soon as you buy a new Honda, you see Hondas everywhere.
Everywhere.
You buy a new Lexus, Mercedes, BMW. It don't matter what car it is. You see that car everywhere.
Right.
So imagine when you've only seen yourself as an athlete and everyone's only seen you as an athlete. Mm-hmm. And yet you've been to school for umpteen years and developed skills in other areas.
Right.
But you yourself hasn't seen yourself in those areas.
Right. So touch on that of what made you start it. What made you start More Than an Athlete? That I know we all understand, and every time, at least I hear people get it described at the first time, like, oh yeah, that's a product that we need.
It makes sense because ultimately you're increasing your emotional intelligence, being more self-aware, and really taking a deep dive into yourself and the things around you. So, and you asked the question, how did More Than an Athlete kind of start?
Yeah, how did it start? Like, you just woke up one day and said,
I had an opportunity to, when I was working for the county of San Diego, I was offered an opportunity to go to USD to do a leadership master's level class for urban leadership. And it was called Rise Academy. Rise Leadership Academy, and in order to increase your community leadership, as well as how do you impact the community through your leadership and goals and what you're doing. And through that, you had a CAP project in order to complete the course, which is a community action project.
Right.
And in that community action project, you had to kind of develop something that, not that you want, and it's not about you, but something that you feel the community may want and need, and then you survey the community, right? So I had to go out and ask and survey the community and ask these questions to see, like, have you ever thought about something more than athletics?
Right.
When someone's, when you're seen by society, are you seen as being something more than an athlete?
All right.
Do you see yourself as being more than an athlete? Do you have mentors? Do you know what a mentor is? Do you know where to find a mentor and some of the things you may be interested in? And so by surveying the community that I come from, that I grew up in, where in like a 4-block radius, you have 4 Heisman Trophy winners.
Right.
Within 4 blocks, that's unheard of when you talk about the Heisman Trophy. So if you grow up in that community, people are automatically assuming that you're an athlete.
Yeah.
You come from a community with 4 Heisman Trophies. Winners.
Right.
Not, and so like you're close. You're that much closer to winning the lottery if you've been that close. Right. So I think it's an expectation that you don't only have of yourself, but the community has of you to perform at a certain level.
Right. Society.
Society
it says, like,
societal measures.
You're big, you're black, you're strong. You're an athlete.
You're an athlete.
Yeah.
You run fast.
Right.
Get the grades and continue to move on. So those are the things that I found that has really impacted not only myself coming through the community, coming up, playing athletics, but also I realized I graduated college without realizing that I graduated college and had that accomplishment. Still had a year to play to start a master's while I was playing football. And looking back, I'm like, I didn't think it was a big deal. I just graduated college to keep playing football.
That's right. It was football. It was the athletics was what kept you there. Again, because of what you knew. Your mentality at that time was, I'm an athlete.
I'm an athlete. I have to graduate school in order to keep playing.
Right.
It wasn't, I need to go to school to further my degree, education, and experience. It was, no, I got to graduate in order to stay on degree track to keep playing football.
Right. And so you have that mindset. You go through your graduate coursework while you're still playing, stop playing, and then what happens? Walk me through that.
I mean, I think I was a lucky one. I had a little opportunity to play some arena ball after college, and I found out it just wasn't for me. I sat back and realized I was a graduate already. I had some education behind me, but I was still in that limbo of like, well, what do I do? How do I even do it? I've never stepped foot in the professional world. I've never even had an interview.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't even have a resume. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a resume.
Right.
Not knowing what a resume is coming out of college. Like, did a few mock resumes, but really actually putting one together and making it applicable. I didn't have experience to put on it. True experience that was applicable to the field that I graduated in. So all those things were difficult looking out of school in order to seek employment. But why I say I was lucky is because, again, athletics kind of got me my first job. I stuck around in the town and people knew who I was because I played football, and I was looking for a volunteer opportunity. And I went up to volunteer to ask, because I was actually depressed, missing athletics. And I went to volunteer to coach. And the coach asked me, hey, do you have a degree? Ooh, I felt like he was being disrespectful.
Is that right?
How dare you ask me if I have a degree? Of course I have a degree.
Yeah.
What do you think, I just wasted my time in college? Man, don't be disrespectful. And the whole time I'm taking it offensive. But he was saying, no, if you have a degree, we'll hire you.
Right.
There's jobs available for you. You
Right.
don't have to volunteer unless you want to.
Right.
I mean, my tune changed immediately. Then I realized, man, something's going on eternally. the way
Yeah,
I
exactly, yeah.
responded. You didn't respond appropriately when someone asked you just a normal question.
Right.
In society to move forward.
Exactly.
And I had to seek out some assistance and some help to realize, like, why did I respond that way?
Right.
You know, was that offensive, or was I not ready, or
you had something going on.
I
Like
had
you
something
said.
going on?
Yep.
You know, and so being able to realize, and like I said, I was blessed. My first job, I was a dropout prevention counselor for a school district, and that propelled my career. I loved it, working with children and families and going to the homes, and I just continued amongst my careers like that, and I had a wonderful start, and then that actually leads me to where I'm here today. I love helping people help themselves. Right? I mean, you can't be the crutch in someone's life because you're not going to be there all the time. So it's like, you know, you have to teach them the skills. Right? I mean, you can't use a hammer to fix everything.
No, exactly right.
So.
No, and that's interesting. I can tell you the time when, and I can't remember exactly. It was after I left ExxonMobil. We're sitting there saying, okay, look, we wanted to do this well mentality, you know, find a way to reach out and give back to folks that are trying to be whales in their craft, be excellent on what they're doing. Let's find those businesses, those business ideas, those initiatives that just need a little bit of support, some capital maybe, some planning,
Some push,
some candor, some a little bit of insight to get excellent. How do we go and identify those and bring them forward? And it was about that time I heard this about, like, the more than athlete. And it was surprising to me, especially as close as we are and we have been, we hadn't really chatted about it until you already had it written up, presented. I think you actually even had I think it was the Rotary Club of San Diego said, hey, look, like, do you guys need funding for that? You're like, wait, hold on, time out. We didn't vet it all the way out. It was just an idea that got developed for class. But when you by that time, I'm like, no, like it's decent enough for us to go and
let's chew on it a little bit.
Let's work it. Work it. And so that type of work and I would say ability to go and do and develop something that would bring that level of satisfaction to what I would say I was looking for when we say invest in a company that you want to see grow. But then also reach back to a demographic that's like us. And so I know we have a ton of, now being 4 years or so, ton of examples of how that might have came about. But one of the first ones that I can recall, at least, was when we got the young gentleman that came from Oregon that fell onto Mesa College's lap.
Yeah,
and the first thing
definitely.
we did was, hey, how about those MTAAEI guys, Shalimar? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, that young man, I think he had I think life is already spelled out for us, right? I think it has experience. He went to the University of Oregon out of high school. And unfortunately, when the coaches transitioned, he was asked to transition. And coming home, he found himself in junior college. And I know...
From San Diego.
Oh,
was that Oregon?
Wait, just won a state championship in high school with San Diego.
Okay.
Went to the University of Oregon.
So the man in San Diego, now one of the best schools in the nation.
Then get asked to go home.
Right.
For
top of
reason.
life to bottom of life.
Yeah, I mean, you
in 1 year.
In 1 year, you know, you go from one of the, like you say, best Division I universities to back home, you know, and thinking that you are gonna one day assist your family with, you know, additional resources through your play and athleticism to where now that dream is gone immediately.
Right.
And that kid found himself in junior college. In junior college, it was still a struggle to turn things around emotionally. And that was the real thing. The primary thing was really emotional.
You're playing at Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, he had the skill set. He had the educational set. He got to Oregon. So it wasn't that he wasn't good. It just emotionally he was distraught.
Right.
And finding the ways to communicate without being reckless and finding ways to help himself and not hurt himself athletically and educationally was wonderful. You know, and so it really allowed him to get to Oregon, get back to Oregon State, actually. And he actually hit the portal this year with a little bit more confidence, and now he's at Washington State University. So, I mean, and those are some of the things that I like to see that's not our success, that's his success, right?
Right.
And ultimately, in more than an athlete, showing him that he's more than an athlete. He can communicate his needs, thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and understanding that he has to engage in certain activities in order to be productive in college.
Right.
He has to go to class. He has to look for resources. He has to find someone to talk to when times get hard. And all those are things he wasn't used to.
Right.
You know, he was used to running fast,
Right.
running the route,
Right.
being praised in the touchdown.
Yep.
You know, so and those are the things that you don't find those in normal life all the time.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people don't have those examples, especially if you already hit rock bottom. You're an athlete. You want to be isolated. You don't want to ask for help.
Oh, no.
You're at a junior college where you probably need more help. Because I bet you University of Oregon has a ton more resources than Mesa College does, especially with some of those.
I mean, you would be hopeful. You would hope they would, but you still got to look at agency time.
So that's fair.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't think that changes.
Everybody closes at 5.
Everybody closes at 5.
Yeah. When do athletes get out of practice?
Oh, after 6 o'clock. Right. So if I know the athletic department, my counselors, the school administrators, your admin people, your mental health department, at 5 p.m. it closes.
They're done.
So when I'm done lifting weights and my girlfriend broke up with me after my last set of hang cleans,
right,
and I'm failing a class and coach just now I'm second string, who do I get to talk to?
Right.
The running back?
Right. Exactly.
Right. Like, you know,
right.
And so,
right.
Or I got to go try to talk to the head coach while he's game planning for next week. And he got 5 other kids waiting at his office to talk about 5 other things.
Right.
And he has also his family going on and he needs to win games. And he's there to coach, not to be a therapist.
Right. No, exactly right. So there's all those other layers that are more than athletics that take place.
Yeah. And it's agency time.
Agency time is probably the biggest one, at least from what I've seen. Is when people need help, they need help when they need help, not when you're available during business hours.
There you go.
So like you say, like, okay, especially when we start talking about emotional intelligence, mental health, like you actually need that probably more times on the nights and weekends and holidays when they're closed.
I would think for an athlete, I would think you need it more times when the season is not going on.
Yeah.
Outside of the season.
Yeah.
When for lack of better words, when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
You know, when you have more time available in your hands. When you have things going on and it doesn't always go your way.
Right.
Or when you don't have anywhere to go home to. Right?
Exactly.
During the holiday season. So those are a lot of different variables that aren't thought about. It's like, oh, school's out, summer's out. We don't have to worry about the kids anymore.
Right.
Right? It's like, oh, they're not on our budget.
No, that's right. Yeah. No, I mean, outside of them, again, it's kind of an agency time thing in itself. And so what brought us here today? When you say, okay, look, we're sitting here in Houston, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And
Houston, H-Town.
So we're here doing some strategy work, but why and with who and
you know, we kind of just, this was planned for like a couple months now to come out to Houston and we can get out here all together in order to actually support each other. I think ultimately it's to support each other in some of our endeavors that we're doing, but ultimately we're a business. We're a business. And as a business, what we do is we go out and we work with different people from all around the country and assisting them with being more than an athlete and engaging in extreme emotional intelligence, extreme ownership in ways that they can kind of continue to upshift their professional career now that they have segued from their athletic career.
They're still pro.
They're still pro.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're not in the NFL.
You went pro in something else.
Something else.
You went pro in something else.
So how do I get excellent?
And that's what we're here to doing today in Houston, that we were lucky enough to, I wouldn't even say lucky, we put strategy together to where we were able to come together as a team to continue to trailblaze on the goals of one of the guys that we're working with. Yep. You know, he has restaurant goals and he started as a pop-up, and being able to continue to teach and lean on each other to help him drive to his end goal of hopefully becoming from a pop-up to a restaurant, as well as driving marketing and some of the other things, but showing strategy, moving from just being a player to a businessman.
Right.
It's the transition.
The transition.
And sometimes that's hard because we may not see ourselves as the businessman and always see ourselves as a player.
And I think that's a big item to bring forward is how we see ourselves. And even in this, you know, you and I as former athletes, himself as a former athlete, he was University of Florida. I just would plug that. So I know Gator Nation always wants to hear Gator Nation. But University of Florida.
Aggie. Nah, just joking.
That's a New Mexico State Aggies.
Yeah, New Mexico State, baby.
SEC might get mad when we start yelling Aggies. They think of somebody else.
We ain't worried about you guys.
Yeah, they like New Mexico State. You guys are cute to them.
Yeah.
But But yeah, no. So you talk about like seeing yourself the way you are, and not necessarily what label that somebody gave you as an athlete. And so taking yourself out of your element to think about strategy. Came into Houston, Des and Ed, and peeling back the onion on the business, I would say is probably the I'll call it surface level, and that's what Candor does. It's hey, you have a business. Let's look at your financials. Let's look at your background. Let's break it down. But when you really start peeling back the onion and you start talking about what gets people to tick, what really is why you're doing what you're doing, it's deeper than that surface level analytic item. You start getting into like, what are you? What is your emotional intelligence? What's your motivation?
Yeah, what's your why?
What's
like
your
why do you want to do what you're doing?
Right.
And it goes for us too. Like why? Like there has to be a whiffle, right? And we're talking about this, right? I mean, it's a whiffle.
What is whiffle?
What's in it for me, man?
What's in it for me, man?
What's in it for me?
Man, there's two hands on the back.
Man, whiffle. Nah, and we always have to make sure that people know, like, if you're honest and you're transparent, there has to be something in it for both parties.
It's a win-win. That's what I call it.
There has to be something in it for both parties.
Be.
And it should be. And if there's not something in it for both parties, where's the value?
Yeah. All right.
Only one person is winning.
Right.
That's not a good team.
All right. That sounds right.
I don't want to work with you if we both can't win.
Right.
And so, and understanding that's where I don't believe people like to throw the word fair around. For me, fair is addressing the same situation, not having the same outcome.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, so it's like when you look at it, it's like, I don't need the same result, but just give me the same time and attention.
Yeah.
And we can develop a result that I may need. Right? If you give me the same undivided time and attention, that's authentic.
Yeah.
That to me is what means fair.
Yeah.
We may not, because my answer may not be applicable to every single person.
Right.
Or the need may not fit every single person.
Right.
But what you need right now is what you need. That's what they needed.
Yep.
And I think that's where becoming more self-aware, more individualized. And that's why the program is important, like you said. And that's the difference. And that's kind of how we wrap into each other and how we got here and developing those things.
And so when you say that kind of product and what you described, MTAAEI, first of all, I'd say every athlete needs it. But then I go a little bit broader than that. And I would say everybody needs it. And maybe not necessarily more than an athlete, but it's more than a student, more than a felon, more than whatever label that's put on you by somebody
Actually,
else.
I just saw outside this building when we were leaving, it's more than an engineer.
Yep, there you go.
Have you seen that?
I didn't see that.
Literally right outside your...
Oh, is that right? Okay, no, I got it.
It's a building right here, more than an engineer.
Yeah. But that's fair. So I'd be interested to see what they're tapping in. But ultimately, I bet you're saying, yeah.
And I was like, damn, if Leon been talking out loud, like, man, he been running my jazz. Like, how is that on the wall over there? Like, literally right outside in Houston, Texas. Like, literally right outside the office downstairs. That's their slogan, more than an engineer.
Yeah. So yeah, you're more than that.
And I was looking at it, and it makes me smile because you're more than that. You know, you are connected. You're somebody's friend. Mm-hmm. Yep. Like, you're somebody's friend in the office.
You're a coach. You're a mentor. You're a lot.
And so you're a lot more than that. But I mean, I think ultimately, bringing it full circle, More Than an Athlete is a program that's built upon, the 3 E's: education, experience, and engagement. Yeah. It's built upon extreme ownership. It's built upon emotional intelligence. Yeah. It's built upon these pillars thinking for a change. In order to, your thoughts plus feelings will always drive your behavior. Yeah. That's like 2 + 2 = 4. Right. Like it won't equal anything else. So whatever I'm thinking, whatever I'm feeling will drive my behavior.
Right.
That's it. If I feel disrespected, right? I'm thinking you don't like me. My behavior is to not deal with you or attack you.
It's gonna be something
right.
That's
Verbally,
related to those two.
Something's gonna be relation to those two. There is no be like, go give you a hug.
Right.
Like that. It doesn't work. Like your body doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And that's why we need to understand that we have, what is it? 100,000 thoughts a day, and 80,000 of them are negative.
80%. Yeah, that is 80%.
Yeah, it's 80% are negative.
That's right.
Yeah, it's 100,000 thoughts. 80,000 of them are negative
Yeah.
on a day-to-day basis, and they're repetitively negative.
Right.
So if you're automatically being that repetitive and negative to yourself on a daily basis, unconsciously, we got to explore more on that emotional intelligence side.
No, I
to
agree.
be more self-aware.
And so when that, more than an athlete, more than an X, more than an engineer, whatever that item is, as that item is needed, how can you, Shalimar Jackson, well mentality, more than an athlete, give, I would say, well, let me back that up. What would you say as Shalimar Jackson, the CEO of More Than an Athlete, is necessary to really reach, I'll call it the potential as to where more than an athlete or more than X, because there's a lot of this can be.
I don't like the way you asked that question.
So I struggled on it too. So I can,
I can tell.
I'm not surprised.
So I'm gonna chew on it for a minute.
Okay, so let me ask you this: What questions should I have asked?
What I like to think you were saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if and maybe like help me, like let's jag this, right? What is the functions of more than an athlete?
Yeah, so we have the functions, and I think it's multifaceted.
It's multifaceted,
and the need is kind of on. It's not even determined until you can tap in. Like I can tell, like let me tell you how more than athlete fixed me up. And candor, talking about candor, and why I left ExxonMobil, and I'm leaving ExxonMobil, sitting there on a daily basis talking to you guys as more than an athlete. And we're talking about all kinds. Actually, at that point in time, it wasn't even. We didn't even have an LLC yet.
No,
it wasn't even. We didn't have the nonprofit. It wasn't structured. And you're sitting there saying, "Man, you were at ExxonMobil. You had an engineering degree. You loved your job. They just promoted you to executive. You're 40 years old as an executive at ExxonMobil. You said you liked your job, and you walk in one Thursday and say, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. And your boss asks you why, and you can't even tell them why, other than I feel like it's time for me to go. They don't even have a resignation letter. You knew. I was working on a lot of other things, but I didn't know. I felt it, but I really didn't know. And in that same, okay, look, how do I break this problem statement down? I knew I needed time, and that was actually the main reason why I left, was because I couldn't be thinking about this only on nights and weekends if I really was serious about doing something with some aggression. So I'm sitting there saying, look, more than an athlete to me is just defining what I just did. Like talking to people, like-minded people that kind of had the similar background, similar struggle, similar knowledge of, hey, there's no such thing as agency time when you're really trying to get better. Like you go to weight room at 5 a.m. or 3 p.m. or whatever time it matters to get better. You don't only do it during business hours. And all these other various things that I would say were skill sets that were developed in that athletic field, but then applied outside of athletics that made me great at ExxonMobil, making Candor great now. But I still had to get those reps from more than an athlete daily, actually.
I get it.
And so that's that's what I needed to deconstrain. If I was to say all these other candors out there, or all these other people that are trying to go pro in another thing, that are trying to tap into to be excellent, and they want to ask for more than an athlete for help, what's constraining them, or what's constraining you, and more than an athlete to be able to help them or others in that same fashion? Everybody can't get on the phone like you and I did every morning and talk, but what is their, I guess, how would you address any of their constraints that you might be coming across from day to day?
I mean, that's a great question. And I think ultimately is you have to be able to make time to have the conversations. And I like to close out with, a lot of people believe you don't have enough time in a day for anything. A lot of people believe that you only have enough time to work, go home, make dinner, and maybe see a little TV and have a little conversation until the next thing come up, right? Until you have a child, until you have a pet, until you have a sick parent, until you have somebody, a boss requesting overtime,
right?
Until you have a pipe break into your house, right? Until you have, something leaking. Life happens, right?
And you found time.
And you find time.
Why don't you have time from the get-go?
And so it's not that we don't have time, it's what we make time for.
There you go.
And in the area of importance. And that's what I find is that you want to make sure that the people that we're working with, and when you're finding that opportunity, is that it's not that you didn't have time, Leon, is that you made time because it was something that we were all interested in and intrigued, and we saw the need. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I would like to, like, say that the most important thing is that it's being self-aware, identifying where you find the time, use the time, and make the time.
Right.
That's it. When it's important enough for you, make the time. The funniest thing, like I said, I know, Leon, and close out like this, we just had a conversation, and you were told, hey, Leon, when do you sleep? You and Shalimar talk in the morning, you talk on the way home, you talk when you wake up. And my comment was, we're developing something.
All right. Working.
I don't know when I got the time.
Right.
But also, if I don't have the time right then, I tell you when I have the time.
I tell you when I have the time. I sleep enough.
I sleep enough.
I fill it up with better time, doing something else. And so I think that's I think your point, like we have to make those resources. We have to have those that time. We have to have. I know capital is a lot of constraints. Same thing. You have to make the capital, you might have to put something on the back burner. You might have to go fundraise elsewhere. You might have to go ask the church for a donation. You might have to do all these various things, but there's a way once you prioritize it accordingly. So appreciate that.
So now, I appreciate the time and having this conversation.
Yeah.
Getting in front of a few people. We need more of this. When we have the time, we'll continue to share with you guys some of the things that we're doing. Yeah, exactly. We will have the time. We'll make the time, and that's what's important. So wrap it up. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you.
Let's go.
More to come.
More than an athlete, baby.